How is everyone doing? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV, and welcome to the match preview of our upcoming game tomorrow in the Cup final against Man City. Now, I'm guessing that a lot of you guys will be feeling pretty apprehensive for this game tomorrow. I definitely know I am, but today I'm joined by a special guest, esteemed company, a Man City fan channel. Of course, he's been on this channel beforehand, very knowledgeable, he knows his stuff, and he's the best Man City fan to have. How are you doing, Stephen? You good, man?
What an intro that was. Thank you very much. I'm good, mate. I'm really good. I'm a bit nervous because it's a cup final. Why wouldn't I be nervous? But I'm looking forward to getting on the coach tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock and having a day of it, really. Looking forward to it. And Wembley's Wembley. It's great. It's great fun. I mean, being from Manchester, Wembley's still, it's not like round the corner like it is for you guys. It's a big day out. It's going to be fun. I'm nervous, but I can't wait. I really can't wait because this is what football's all about, really, to be honest.
Yeah, but like you saying you're nervous, that's probably like a 1 out of 10. Me being nervous is like a 9 out of 10. There's like levels to this. There's levels.
Probably
to the
got more
nerves,
reason, yeah. Yeah, you probably got more reason to be nervous than we are, given everything.
Exactly, but of course, I think maybe the best way to start this video is by giving our thoughts and opinions on the press conferences from both managers now, starting with Pep Guardiola. And look, very interesting things to say about Chelsea as a club. Now, I thought it was quite interesting to hear his thoughts and opinions on him basically saying that we don't give managers time to do anything, which is the reality. And what's your thoughts and opinions on that?
I think that there's two ways I looked at that in terms of. I think firstly he's trying to defend a fellow colleague because he's always about defending managers. He does that a lot in terms of. He obviously has got a lot of respect for Sarri. He's come out and said that a billion times. When City were playing Napoli last season, he was his biggest fan. He was saying he's a genius, one of the best managers in the world, and all this kind of stuff. So I think what he's kind of doing is putting a bit of pressure on his naysayers, maybe even on the Chelsea board, to actually support the man and saying, look, if you think I'm all that great, well, you've got a great manager, actually support him. And two, I think he's actually just being honest as well. I think he went to City because the club was essentially, the role was built for him in terms of, we had two ex-Barcelona board members, and Sariano and Chiki Bergenstein, who basically been caught in Guardiola for several years. They wanted him as a manager for a long time. This wasn't like, are you free next season, Pep? This was like, can you be manager? He's like, no, I'm going Bayern first. Okay, 3 years later, can you be manager now? He's like, all right, yeah, maybe. And they were buying players like Sterling and De Bruyne and a lot before knowing that Guardiola would like these players, So basically, this role has been built for him, and he knew, and rightfully so, knew that if he went to Man City, he'd get the time to put into his system. And he probably looked at Chelsea and thought, for a long time now, Chelsea have been kind of like, even though you did win under Conte and so on, it does feel like the identity is shifting from the club constantly. It's like, it feels like you change every 2-3 years, and that's how it feels as an outsider. I mean, obviously, you'll know as an insider a little bit more than I was, because obviously the fans of the club watch it more than fans outside the club. But it feels like Chelsea have been changing constantly for a long time, and he probably feels like that wasn't really suit what he was going to try and do at a club, and he knows that the first signs of problems, fans and maybe some fans in particular, and maybe some board members would get kind of a bit nervous, and I understand that. So I think City was made for him, really. The role literally was, and I can understand why he didn't want to kind of go to Chelsea, and why he also said yes to his mates, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's even quite telling too. Pep Guardiola saying that he kind of wishes that Man City didn't even beat us 6-0, which is a big statement. Obviously, they've got a close relationship. We know it's Saki, Pep, and Sarri. That's like their own little gang. Those three doing their own thing. But I'm
not sure. But yeah, I think he's right. 6-0.
I mean, of course,
he doesn't.
Maybe their friendship seems to be.
Yeah,
you're right. But I think maybe their friendship is maybe much deeper than any of us really know, Weren't they photographed this summer? There was like all three of them in a hotel in Italy for like a week.
I recall that,
out.
Just pals, aren't they? Manager pals.
So, which is nice. But I feel like the Premier League has become very nice all of a sudden. Maybe it's like all the marketing men, they finally got their way. We've got to make this as family friendly as possible to get as much money as humanly possible, because everything's about money in the world today, But
Tell me about it.
But of course, obviously, moving on from the press conference to give our thoughts and opinions on the game. Now, for me, one thing I constantly keep saying every single time is the fact that we don't know what the game plan was going to be for the second game against you guys. By the time it got to like 10 minutes, we were 3-0 down. That came from 2 individual mistakes, shocking mistakes. And from a wonder goal from Aguero, which is an amazing long shot, which is unsavable. So, like, when you have those circumstances against you, you're starting on the back foot. It doesn't matter what the game plan is now, because now you have to get back in the game. And if you do that, naturally you're going to give away even more space. And, just to use another example to reinforce this point, when we beat you 2-0 at home at Stamford Bridge, we got a goal right near the end, of the first half, which was like the decisive moment we needed. That changed the entire complexion of the game in the second half, because Man City did have to come out a bit more.
Yeah.
And we were able to exploit the spaces in behind. So, this is how football is. This is how circumstances change very easily. And I think that I'm hoping that we have a very patient approach. One thing I constantly criticize about us, when things go wrong, I see this lack of impatience in our players. They either want to hold on to the board too long, they don't follow the tactical plans or the instructions, they end up doing their own thing, and they pay the price for that every single time. So I'm thinking, in your opinion, when we play you guys tomorrow, is Pep going to have a different game plan, or do you feel like he's going to play the same way? Or do you think that he might have a few maybe selection surprises or a few tactical tweaks to really help, try and beat us?
I think the worst thing that could happen for you guys is the fact that we didn't play that well against Schalke. Because in general, we do tend to bounce back from an indifferent performance, because it sharpens the senses, and most big teams do tend to bounce back a little bit. We tried the Fernandinho thing in midfield there a little bit. Sorry, in defence. It didn't work that well, so I'm not expecting we'll see that again. Obviously, as well, I think Stones might be okay. I'm expecting Vincent Kompany will actually play. He started last season in the final against Arsenal and played really well, basically out of nowhere, because he'd been injured. It's a very similar situation once again. He's been in the squad back, so I think we'll see him. Go on. Yeah.
Can I ask you, obviously for the Carabao Cup, have you used a pretty strong team throughout the tournament, or have guys like Foden been playing a lot more?
No, we've
like, I don't know, Danilo.
There's a debate going around at the moment about maybe one of the two young lads should start, given that they kind of got us to the final. Like, our keeper has been Aaron Muric, who's a very good keeper, to be honest. He's really good, like a bit of a young Edison Clone in the way he plays. But Pep was asked in the press conference, will he be starting? And he said, I don't know, I'll think about it. Well, last season when he was asked if Bravo would be starting, he was on number 2 at the time. He was like, oh yeah, definitely, he got us there. So there was a bit of apprehension in his voice, because I guess he's a different stage of his career. Like, he's like half his age more to Bravo. So I guess he's a seniority thing there. And also Foden played quite a lot. And a young lad called Eric Garcia played a few games. I suspect Eric Garcia won't be involved at all, because obviously it's just not going to happen. He's not going to drop senior defenders for him. But Foden, I think, will probably end up being on the bench. Maybe Muric will start, but he's been playing. Our team, as you know, anyway, it's kind of strong. So even if we play our reserves, it's still Mahrez, Gabriel. It's kind of still Gundogan, Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus, that kind of people. Even if we play our reserves, Danilo, that lot. So I think he'll play basically a full strength team. Maybe the keeper will be different. Maybe he might surprise us, but I think we're going to go for, like, if I was to guess a team, it'd be like, I think he'll play Edison. It'll be Walker, Kompany, Laporte. Maybe Zinchenko, because he played well against you last time. So I think he'll probably earn to start there. Then Fernandinho, I'd say De Bruyne, Bernardo. Probably the Sterling Sane combination with Maguire. I think it'll be something like that. It'll be quite a strong team. And it probably should be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking forward to seeing Aguero again. I kind of think one of the big reasons as to why we won the game against you guys this season was because he wasn't playing. Every time Aguero plays against us, he ends up getting a goal. I think he scored in the Community Shield too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did indeed.
He scored,
I remember that. I was there at the game as well. It was a good game, that. Foden played well that day as well, so that would be a shout as well for a start for him, potentially, because he played at Wembley. Exactly. He did well that game, and it was against you guys as well. But yeah, Aguero's a banging forward at the moment, and he's a big game player. Like, he scored last season in the final as well. I mean, I'm nervous a little bit, because you never know. You just never know. Like, there's the whole fear the wounded animal kind of thing, and you guys could turn up. You could just be like, right, this is the cup final. We can't let ourselves down here. We could just not play well. It happens. Sometimes you overcomplicate things. And last season, in the first half of the Carabao Cup final, Pep went like Pete Pep and decided to do this whole like 6 midfielder thing, and he played Gundogan kind of on the right. And the first half of that game against Arsenal, we didn't play that well. We did okay. We were winning, but we didn't play well. It was only in the second half when he went back to more of a traditional kind of Pep system.
Nothing decisive.
And when we went back to the traditional kind of setup, that's when we actually kind of took the game away from Arsenal entirely. So Pep can overthink things. That's his biggest strength is his biggest flaw. He's a genius, but geniuses can overthink things. So,
it helps him though. It helps him. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've always been so fascinated by with Pep. This thing of, like, in a way, building a team that's just like one massive midfield. You know what I mean? Like, he was getting into that with Barcelona. I think that's the that's the team that came closest to like fulfilling that tactical ambition. But I mean, it was working. When he used that against us, when we got through in the Champions League in the semi-final, Torres scoring right at the end and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they hit the post like 6 times or something. Messi missing a penalty. It's one of those games where if we played it 100 times, it would never have that same outcome ever. So that's how lucky we were.
That's
so
football,
I mean,
isn't it?
he's definitely onto something. Yeah, exactly. He's onto something. But obviously moving back
tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry man, sorry to interrupt.
That's
yeah,
right.
Exactly. Why tomorrow? Yeah, but why tomorrow is going to be it can be peak if the application from the players isn't going to be on point. Because here's the thing now, I personally feel when you play a style of football like this, I think the players have to take more responsibility for why things go wrong compared to the manager, because it's not as if you've got like a Mourinho or Conte who kind of babysit you, who tell you what to do in this position, and it's all about focusing on the defensive phase and etc. etc. You have to take responsibility as a player, and I personally feel like this is one of the main issues that we're facing so far. We do have the solutions in our squad. We have them against Malmo, which second half, one of our best second halves for a while. And when I'm analysing their game, it's not really a surprise. HUDSON ODOI, he's up there with Sancho's and Vinicius, they're on the same level, in my opinion.
It's quality.
Unbelievable player. Quality, and I'm sorry, the end product from that right-hand side is just better than what I've seen from Willian and Pedro this season. There's no debating it. He has to play against Man City. He has to cause different issues. If you've got Zinchenko playing there, but this is the thing though, like, because obviously the reports. We know that this game for Sarri has massive implications. If it doesn't go to plan, then potentially his job could be on the line, which is, I mean, for me, it's a bit disgraceful in my opinion, and it sums up everything wrong with us. But I'm not even going to touch into that because we'll be here all day if we talk about that.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we use HUDSON ODOI, that's going to give someone like either Delph or Zinchenko, whoever plays against us, a different issue. I mean, we saw in that the game that we beat you guys 2-0, when we started to get the ball behind Delph, started to run at him, he was really starting to collapse a bit in that sense. We started to notice that, I think, was it Laporte had to keep leaving his position to move out wide to help support him.
He's not recovered,
just giving us more space to play through. Yeah, exactly. So this is why
despaired, to be honest. Yeah. And he's been bang out of form. So yeah, I mean, you do have the players. Like, you obviously do have the players, and I honestly never know how a final's going to go. One-off game, isn't it? It could go absolutely any way. And you do I don't know. I feel like I might be wrong here, but I feel like someone like Sarri is the kind of manager, and most managers, to be honest, when there's a big game, they tend to stick with what they know. And that's why, even though I think HUDSON ODOI should start, and this is why I think Foden should start and Muir should start. The managers will go back to what they consider their strongest teams, whether that's fair or not. I just can't see Foden or HUDSON ODOI starting. They both probably earned it, but I think both of them will be on the bench looking in. I wouldn't be surprised to see HUDSON ODOI like half an hour.
That could cost Sarri. Yeah, I mean, that could cost Sarri for me, because obviously one thing we noticed in that second half performance against Malmo was that when all the good players were on the pitch, I mean, like the technical ones, like Emerson clocked 190 touches of the ball. That's something that your fullbacks do. I keep stressing the point that fullbacks, especially when you play a style of football like this, are the most important aspect of the team, because they're the ones that support all phases of play. And if you don't have a fullback that can do that very well, you're going to be susceptible. As I was talking about it before, as we saw with Liverpool when they had guys like Marino and Nathaniel Klein, teams get countering down the flanks all the time. Your first season with Zappa, Clichy, Kolarov, Sanya, good players.
Old,
they don't have the physical demands. Exactly, they're old, and every time down the flanks. This is what we're seeing this season. We saw it from the first games this season with Sarri in charge. He has to start relying on the technical players. Listen, what is going to save him is, even if we don't win, if the performance is on point, if it's a close game that it's 2-1, let's say you guys get like a lucky, a refereeing decision, whatever, that's going to help his chances even more than just relying on old players that aren't helping the cause, because they can't. They just don't have the ability to help.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually can't really disagree with everything you said there, to be honest. I mean, from your perspective of this game now, I know you don't think it's the be all and end all, But like, is there going to be too much noise after this game for the board just to ignore it? If say City turned up, and I don't think this will happen, but say City turned up and did play well, and we beat you 3 or 4-0 or something like that, which is not unfeasible. I'm not saying it will happen, but it's definitely not unfeasible. If that happens now, in your opinion, is that going to be like too much now for the board just to ignore? Like do you think he'll end up going?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility. I think from a few things I've heard too, I hear that you know, a lot of times, fan pressure does actually influence the board's decision.
Yeah,
and for me, this would disappoint me when I heard it, because it really like exemplifies the fact that we have no footballing people at the top when we need them. Sometimes if we had like an old heads at the top, it can really help us out in situations like this where these business people don't really understand how it works. They've got a corporate mind where they think every year, profit. And sport just doesn't work like that. When you're competing every year, it's not as simple as that. So I think that's the one mentality that our board needs to understand. I think what would help them is if we could have some footballing people alongside them, but I don't really think they want that, because they like having the power and they like being able to do whatever they want. But that's enough about me moaning about my club. Of course, it's just all right. Okay, so let's to wrap things up with this video. What's your score predictions for tomorrow?
I hate this bit. I think we'll win. I'm going to go for 2-0. I just think we'll win. Like
2-0.
Like I don't think it. I think we'll go 1-0 up. You guys will be pushing, and then we'll get the late second goal.
Exactly. But anyway, man, I'm going to say thank you for obviously coming on for this match preview.
My pleasure.
And of course, you guys, if you want to hear more of our thoughts and opinions, we were working together for an AA8 Sport collaboration sponsorship thing. It was interesting, of course, for the foundations of that show. They wanted us to find some points to debate about. So there was one time we had to debate between who was better between Higuain and Aguero. So it kind of sums up what we had to do. But it was sort of a very, very fun day. The people
40-minute conversation
were amazing
into 2 minutes, which says it all really. A good conversation. Shame it wasn't a longer video.
Yeah,
definitely go check it out anyway, I'd say.
Yes. It's a shame. I don't think they've released the full-length version yet on YouTube, have they?
I think they're just going for the 2-minute video. I think they're going for. So
yeah,
which is a shame.
You make of that what you will, you guys. Make of that exactly. But anyway, you guys, thank you for watching. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'm going to be linking in esteemed companies in the top right corner as well. So if you want to get more information for the match preview, you know where to go. I'll see you guys later.